Is your last name Hock?
Yeah, H-O-C-K.
Oh,
Yep, not like the bird.
I was thinking like Dragon Age.
I'll pay money for you, kid.
Alright. Hi, hello, good afternoon, however you prefer to be introduced, that's how I'm introducing you. And welcome to my roller coaster ride. As a little kid, I grew up in a Christian home. Extended family were all Christians. Basically, that's all I knew. I didn't know what the outside world looked like, or even kind of how people sinned. Like, I knew what sin was. I sinned. I stole little candy bars and things like that. But to me, like, the worst sin that people were doing around me was lying or stealing a candy bar or something. That's what I grew up as knowing, up till probably around 6 or so, when I accepted Christ on top of my dresser, actually. Why? I don't know. That might explain my personality a little bit, just going places, being adventurous. Climbed up there, accepted Christ on top of my dresser. My mom walked in. What are you doing? Just accepted Christ. What? So that's just how I grew up. Didn't really know what that meant. And if we fast forward a little bit, and a little bit being probably about 6 years, my early teen years, kind of middle school area, I asked God to give me a story because mine was late. I heard all these testimonies about how people did this, or they went and they started out in the inner city and they did drugs, and then they did all this stuff, and boom, now they're Christians and they're speaking everywhere. I'm like, what in the world? I was 6 years old, and that's about what happened. That's it. That's my story. And I really wanted something more. And I will say right now, don't ask God for something that you're not ready for, because I got hit with a bunch of things that I wasn't expecting. During the later years of middle school, I had a relationship that just started to go downhill. I'm not going to get into it because of time's sake, but things didn't go well, and my youth pastor actually had to give me an ultimatum on it. There was a mission trip coming up in about 3 months from now, or from then, and he's like, you're either going to straighten your act up or you can't go. I was like, shoot, like, what is this? This mission trip, I love these. At that time, I was thinking about missions, like, I can't get stopped from this. So I took it head on and went straight through it. And with that, he forced me to get a mentor. And we had a small mentor group that consisted of my current mentor still, Kevin Barnes, and my best friend to this day. It was one of the best experiences that I had, and it was awesome to see God take something horrible and turn it into something great. And even from that, the mentor group that I had then transformed our whole youth group, who they all now have mentor groups. If you come and stay in the youth group for a little while, you then have a mentor, which is really cool. Then later on in my teen years, around being a 10th grade or so, I got back on track. I was going great, talking to my friends about Christ and just living out in school. I felt like that cool Christian kid again. Then the problem with that is I had this allergy attack. I was at church and I don't know why, I just started sneezing. And started sneezing for about 10 minutes straight. From there, I got a headache, which makes sense. You just sneeze for 10 minutes straight, you got a headache. But the problem is that the headache stayed. For about 45 days then after that, I had a migraine that just stuck, and I was on the couch for basically the whole time. I woke up, went down to the couch, laid down, my mom just kind of nursed me there, and then back to bed I went. And people brought homework and stuff from school, and I was trying to do it, but with a migraine, it's so tough to do homework. And for 45 days, I missed school. And I had to drop my math class because math just keeps adding on. I was doing really well in high school. And then dropping the math class, it changed my whole kind of course. And I loved math, and then it's like, once you miss a year of math and going into it again, you lose it. So it really hit my life then, and I was, what's going on? Like, I was stuck with them. And then finally, I had this little break. And we had a youth retreat coming up. I'm like, Mom, let me go. Like, my head's not too bad. Like, it still hurts, but please let me go. And for some reason, they let me go, and I'm so glad they did. I was there, and God really worked through that. Because during worship, first night, I had a really bad headache still. And I asked one of my friends, who I knew he had migraines. It wasn't the same way, but I at least knew how he felt, and he knew how I felt. And I just asked him to pray for me. Like, can you pray for me? I want to get through this weekend and get something out of it. And he just started praying for me, and right afterwards I was like, all right, cool, like, I'm just going to go for it. And the great thing about that is the song I Am Free came on after that, and I just started singing to it, and realized that about halfway through the song, my headache was gone at that point. And the song just hit me. I am free to run, I'm free to dance, I'm just free to sing out. And for me, I was just kind of released into that weekend to go and serve God better and learn and grow from Him. That was probably one of the most experiential times that I had on a retreat. From then, they have come back, but I had about a month of grace period there where I was able to get work done and things like that. And I still struggle with them to this day, where I miss class and stuff because of it. But I know that God's going to use that for me to be able to help out kids who are struggling with that as well. So fast forward again, a couple years, now it's freshman year. I loved college, roommates with Charlie, still am to this day, which means things weren't too bad with us. But I had what we call a character contract, and I decided to pick perseverance. All right, I'll get through this, get through it, I'll persevere. The problem with that, which I know I'm using that a lot, but there's a lot of problems with the things that I'm doing here. And God took that and knew that I wasn't actually going to stress myself with it. And He did it for me. So throughout that time, I went through this bout of depression, which, if any of you guys know me well, I'm that happy-go-lucky, energetic guy. And I never knew what emotional pain was. Like, what is this? What's going on? Throughout that time, I had, the girlfriend at the time broke up with me for, I didn't know why. Just kind of left there. I hated school and I didn't know why. I love LBC, I loved it then, but I hated it for some reason. So, He took everything and flipped it upside down on me. And it went to the point where I was driving back to school from home, and I was looking at trees going, if I hit that, then I don't have to go to school, but I'm not going to kill myself, that's dumb. But if I just hit it and go to the hospital, they'll understand why I don't want to go back. That is not the correct way to think. There were a couple times I was actually going down the road, and I slapped myself across the face. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because it was kind of an internal battle with me. I wrote up my paper then for the character contract and realized it all. It's just God's challenging me. And it hit me. And as soon as I handed in that paper, I was good. My life was good to go. I loved school again. Things just made sense to me. And God really opened my eyes to that and drew me through. So to this day, I'm still rooming with Charlie, and we're going well, and I'm enjoying school and plan on sticking here for the next 2.5 years. So thank you for listening to my story, and I will say, don't ask God for something that you don't want or don't expect, and trust God through all the hard times. Thank you.